Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us here at the State Emergency Operations Center in Nashville, Tennessee. So we're just having a quick briefing to discuss the incoming winter weather. So the National Weather Service in Memphis and in Nashville have both issued winter storm warnings now. So for Memphis, they'll start tomorrow, which is Thursday, and I think actually Nashville starts tomorrow as well. So we're expecting a pretty good amount of snowfall in most of Tennessee between now and midday on Saturday. So snowfall will begin in Memphis probably Thursday night, overnight into Friday. Right now the forecast calls for it to pick up about midnight and get heavier overnight and through the day. We're looking snow to start here in Middle Tennessee around midday on Friday, and the afternoon commute time, the National Weather Service has forecast that we're going to have pretty heavy snowfall. So there's a high degree of certainty in their forecast that just about every place in Tennessee will see 2 inches of snowfall, and their forecast ranges from around 3 inches to 7 inches in most places across the state. So that forecast has shifted a little bit over the course of the week, but as we get closer to the event, it bears a little more importance to us paying attention. So encourage anyone in Tennessee that needs groceries to get their French toast ingredients tomorrow before the snowfall begins across our state. So right now we're hoping that folks are paying attention to the forecast, and if you don't have to be out and about in the snowfall, we encourage you not to be. But if you do need to be there, please give yourself plenty of time to get to your destinations. Right now, TDOT crews and a lot of local highway departments are pre-treating roads, so if you're out there, you can see those trucks. So please make sure you're giving them space to operate as well. And I know that TDOT has a plan for road clearance, especially the interstates and state routes, once snowfall begins in earnest. So again, you really lose traction pretty quickly in a snowfall event, and so please make sure you give yourself lots of room to stop. And again, if you don't have to be out and about, it's a great time to be home and enjoy time with your families. So we do expect a prolonged cold period, and so while we'll see some warming on Sunday and on Monday and some melt, temperatures are forecast to again drop and stay below freezing for a good part of next week, and so we're mindful of that. There are warming centers that are open in a number of communities throughout the state. You can find those on TEMA's webpage, tn.gov/TEMA, and those are run by local officials and local organizations, but we've confederated those things onto our site when we're aware of them so that that information is more easily accessible by Tennesseans and our visitors. That map is interactive, so you can sort for it and look across it. If you need assistance or have questions about shelters, please reach out to your county emergency manager. You can find their contact information on our website as well. So ahead of this, we hope Tennesseans will just continue to monitor your forecasts. Again, there's no reason to panic. We have the luxury of time. The forecast is pretty consistent at this point, so prepare now. So we talk about the 4 Ps: people, pets, pipes, and plants. So make sure you have a plan and that you're taking action to check on your family members and your neighbors. If you have outdoor plants or pets, this is a great time to find ways to transition them inside, and make sure that pipes, exterior pipes especially, are warmed, and that you disconnect any outdoor hoses right now. So if you have any specific needs, again, there's community organizations, your county emergency managers who can help you with that. We encourage everyone to have a plan, so know what you need to do and how you need to do it, and make a kit. So this is a great time to put in your car some extra blankets, warm jackets, gloves, shoe coverings, shovel, and things like kitty litter or sand that can act as an aggregate, just in case you have to find yourself out and about and you can have extra traction. Have multiple ways to receive alerts. So I'm sure that each of these broadcast stations has an app or a weather app they would love for you to download. And again, you can also download the FEMA app or apps that have weather notifications, and state apps as well. They can help give you information ahead of the storms coming in. And you can never go wrong with having a NOAA certified weather radio in your home as well. So accounts to follow for the road conditions are the Tennessee Highway Patrol and the Tennessee Department of Transportation. They'll be sending lots of information around the conditions that they're seeing, and they'll be doing that in pretty real time. If you look at TEMA's webpage right now, you'll see that we're still at a state of emergency. That's actually from Helene, so we're continuing to coordinate response and recovery efforts after Helene. We will be going to a state of emergency as well around this, a level 4, which is us monitoring and making sure that we're moving assets like water and those kinds of things that we think we need to pre-position just in case things go wrong. That's all I have to brief from, and I'm happy to take questions at this point.
Can you explain
Yes, ma'am.
the state of emergency just a little bit more with the level 4 and what that means?
Yeah, so the Tennessee Emergency Management Plan is a plan that's required by Tennessee Code Annotated, and TEMA is the organization that assembles that plan on behalf of the state. And in that plan, we have activation levels. A level 4 activation is our lowest level, and it's a monitoring level. So, but we also take those proactive steps that we think we might need to take in order to meet any anticipated needs. So we'll move foodstuffs and water around, sheltering material if we think we'll need it somewhere, and we'll do it while we can, while the roads are clear before they get hemmed up. So it's a way for us to communicate too that we're paying attention to something and taking it seriously.
And I know you mentioned telling people, hey, you don't need to go outside, don't in these situations. Are there any other tips or tricks you have for drivers that may need to hit the roads? Any other routes they can take to stay safer?
Yeah, before people go out and about, and you know, not everyone has the luxury of staying home. Certainly when the weather's bad, me and my teammates and the troopers that are out there, we have to be out and about. And we're like everyone else. We look at traffic apps. We look at the information coming from TDOT and the Tennessee Highway Patrol to check on the status of routes so that as we're doing our route planning, give yourself a lot more time as well. So when conditions are bad, you need to give yourself more time to accelerate, more time to slow down and brake, and take your curves a little slower. And I would encourage everyone to have, again, a kit in your car that has blankets, gloves, coat, hat, a shovel, and then aggregate material to help you if you get stuck. So whether that's kitty litter or sand or salt or something that you can use to help you gain traction if you find yourself stuck. And certainly, you know, we've seen people stuck this week. There was some icing in Franklin the other day that caused some pileups on the interstate. And how you drive on frozen roads, snow-covered roads, icy roads is very different from how you can drive on dry roads that we typically see around here.
I know you kind of already talked a little bit about this already, but are there any areas specifically that you're looking might be worse than others, get more snow or get more ice than other areas?
So right now we're not expecting ice in any part of Tennessee, so that forecast area for icing shows like it's pretty far south of us, and that's great news for utilities. That's great news for lots of reasons, but we're really looking at a pretty consistent blanket of snow across much of Tennessee. So the areas that I'm most concerned about are those areas that are curvier or hillier roads that are harder to access anyway, and the folks that live out there might have a harder time getting around, and those are the areas that I'm primarily concerned about.
How would you compare, if you could, expecting what's going to come with this snow event compared to prior years that we've had here?
This is a pretty standard snowfall event, so you know, I think we kind of forget that snow happens every year, right? Usually it's probably not more than 2 inches, but this is not an anomalous kind of snowfall event, and I think we're pretty fortunate that's happening later in the week rather than in the middle of the work week. And we have snowfall, like in most of Tennessee. You know, I was out in East Tennessee last week, and it was snowing pretty hard on us as we were going around and checking on some of the recovery from Helene. So snow is going to fall in lots of parts of the state. So the folks on the plateau, they're very accustomed to snowfall. The folks in Upper East Tennessee and East Tennessee are very accustomed to having snowfall. And it'll maybe be a little bit more than we're accustomed to in the state, but there's nothing really anomalous about the amount of snowfall we're going to see here. It's pretty much what we'll normally see once a year.
Should we expect any school closures or anything like that?
I would expect lots of school closures on Friday. I'm not going to make that call for the superintendents and the school boards, but I imagine most schools in Tennessee on Friday will be making decisions on Thursday night about how they're going to be postured.
Have you been able to communicate with the power companies, utilities, to see what their plans are to be assured that we don't lose power like we did?
Yeah, TVA's been on top of it and has proactively been communicating with a number, with their constituent utilities and with their stakeholders, of which TEMA is one of them, and I'm comfortable with the plans they have in place right now. And of course, the fact that very little icing is forecast, and any that it is outside of Tennessee is encouraging as well. But I know that they're tracking and monitoring, and they have also done a lot of things here in the last 2 years to shore up their power supply and their communication.
Are there any additional measures being taken to those that are still recovering from Hurricane Helene and that are now going to face a major winter storm? Are there any additional resources being added?
No, if they needed things though, so we're talking to the county emergency management agencies pretty consistently, and if there's extra needs there, we'll be sure to try to resource those as quickly as we can. But you know, we've tried to make sure that folks that are eligible for housing assistance are receiving it, and those that are survivors of the storm have the resources they need.
Do you guys have to, do you also, with local hospitals, is there communication there with TEMA and the local hospitals?
Our ESF 8, which is Emergency Support Function 8, is Health and Medical, and the Tennessee Department of Health honchos that for us, and they've been coordinating with their stakeholders throughout. And you know, we've also been making sure that we're communicating with those that might need medical transportation, so whether dialysis groups. So, and I would encourage anyone that needs dialysis treatment, that tomorrow would be a great day to get it, rather than trying to wait until after road conditions might deteriorate.
Thank you, Director.
Yeah, well, thanks so much. I hope everyone enjoys what my daughter would tell me is a beautiful, clean snowfall, and hope you're able to enjoy it with some sledding with your families. And again, if you don't have to be out and about, I encourage folks to stay home and just enjoy it with your family and friends. And if you do have to be out and about, just give yourself more time. Make sure you have a kit and have a plan, and make sure you let people know that you're on the road too. So giving people a heads up so they can help keep tabs on you and make sure that you get help if you need it is important too. So thanks so much.